Good afternoon, everyone. Today's the 1st of November 2024, and my apologies for being late with the Facebook Live this week. We had quite a lot of computer glitches yesterday, and we're unable to actually record it. With that, I had made the cards, so today you're just going to have a show and tell, so I hope that's okay. But I wanted to show you, first of all, the designer series paper that I used. It's called Winter Meadow, and I don't know if you know, but in the back of the paper there's this piece of card, and on it tells you all the different colours you can use with the designer series paper. So for example, with this one you can use basic black, blueberry bushel, garden green, Lost Lagoon, misty moonlight, moody mauve, pebble path, pretty peacock, shaded spruce, and smoky slate. So there's quite a lot of colours that you can actually use. Now I'm going to show you very quickly the DSP. It's really pretty. So it was around last year. There was also a stamp set and dies that went with it, which I still have, but I'm not using those today. So this is one side, that's the opposite side. Here's another one, a bit of a snowy scene, and grey, smoky slate side. This one here has deer on it. I think you can see them down here. And you can make this into 6 cards, basically. And it's got this side. You've got this one with trees, which are upside down. And the other side is this. You've got this berry one, which is pretty peacock on the other side. And the one that I used was this one here. Now, this is not a full sheet, but it's almost 12 by 12. What I decided to do was to do what we call a one-sheet wonder. So what I did was I cut a strip off the top, and then I cut the rest of it up into little bits. So not tiny bits, but you'll see as we go through. And I just got a random pattern from Pinterest as to what to cut up. So today is going to be a show and tell with what I used. So I'll just pull these out as well. For the embossing folders, I used this one called Painted Trees. You may be able to see. So it has raised trees on it. There we go. I have another one somewhere. And it's, here we go. It's called Snowflake Sky. And you can probably just see the snowflakes on it. It gives the paper a beautiful raised pattern. Then I used some dies. This is the Greetings of the Season die. And I used this one here, this arrow-shaped one. And I'll show you how I did that. I used some deckled rectangles. So they come in varying sizes in there. I'll just put those in. I used deckled circles, and there's a lot of these. You can see many of those. And I also used my Thoughtful Wishes dies. So this is I just used this one. And what other one did I use? This one here. And I'm going to show you what I did with that and the Winter Meadow paper. So here we go. The first card I made is this one, and it's on a misty moonlight base. And basically this was the size I cut out, and I backed it on some misty moonlight. Then I laid it on a white piece of white cardstock, which I embossed with the snowflakes. To that I added a sentiment, and the sentiment comes from Hope and Prayer. I think that's what it's called. Let me grab it here. Hope and Peace. There's one called Hope and Prayer, one called Hope and Peace. And this was around last year as well, and I just love the sentiments on these, so I use this one for many of these. Then I got some ribbon. Some of this ribbon, it's a very fine silver ribbon, and I use that, and use that around the bottom. Now it is very, very flimsy, this ribbon, because it ties in a beautiful bow, but I wanted to lay it flat, so you sort of have to push it around a little bit to get it there. Place the white on the Misty Moonlight, and then put this on dimensionals and added the sentiment, and inside I stamped another sentiment from the same set. So that's card number 1. These are not in any order, by the way. This is another card. This was a different size that I cut out. I cut it actually that size, but I cut a frame from the deckled rectangles, and what I did was I used 2 deckled rectangles to make like a frame, and I just stuck it onto the other cardstock, so it looks like it's 2 pieces, but it's only 1. Then again, Misty Moonlight, but I did it this time on a basic white base, and I put sentiment on in Misty Moonlight with white embossing powder, and added a few gems to it, so you can, I don't know if you can see the gem sparkle, but there's one up there, and there's a couple down. There's one there. It's a bit hard to see with the paper, and one there. Okay, I'm going to pop that one there. This is another one I did with just a strip from the paper. I placed the strip on Misty Moonlight, put it on a white base, added a bit of ribbon down the side, and I did a lot of die cutting of little bits and pieces in different colours, and I just stuck them underneath this. You might be able to see that. Yeah, I just put them along the edge. Also cut out this. This is actually one piece. So if you look at this card, that's the whole of it. So what I did was I used half of it up here and the other half down the bottom, and then I stamped in Misty Moonlight, Peace on Earth, Goodwill to All. So that was another one, and then I added the gems from, I'll just pull them out, here we go. These ones here, they're called Cherry Cobbler and Pearl Adhesive Blackberries. Really pretty, red and a clear one. So that's what I used for that one. Next card, I'll put that one over there. This one that I was showing you, I used another piece. I think it started off a bit bigger than this one, or a bit smaller than that one, but I used the deckled rectangle to cut it out, and then I used another deckled rectangle that's a little bit bigger to put some Misty Moonlight behind it. I stuck that on dimensionals on a white base, added a bit of ribbon around the card and just tied a knot, and then I added some of the cutouts that I had, tucking them in underneath the ribbon, so that and the ribbon's just tied in a knot, not in a bow, and then I put the sentiment on, wishing you the hope and peace of Christ this season. That's a 4th one. And here's one that's fairly similar. Had some square pieces as well, and this one I based on Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy, put it on a white base, had some more die cuts, Misty Moonlight and like white glitter paper. And for this one I used that die I was telling you about, that looked like an arrow. But what I did was I cut the white one out, stamped it and cut it out, and then I cut a bit off the end, and I added a bit of Misty Moonlight with the same die behind it. So that's how that one turned out. Quite a pretty card too. Next card. 3 more here. Got this one. This was one of the centerpieces of that cardstock. If you look in the middle of this, you can see that there is a big white space here, and basically I think up here, so I think this was the bit I used from up here, okay, just so you can see where it came out of. There's a lot of, it doesn't look as if there's a lot, but when you put it on the card, there's quite a bit of space. So I used some Night of Navy natural tone thread that I've got, all this thread that I never use, and some white, and I tied the two together, tied it around the card, just stamped a sentiment, put it in the top, and added some dimensionals. You can see the dimensionals on that. Very, very simple card again. The next two cards I have, I'll do this one next. This is also another square. You can see they were taken out of similar place in the paper. And I've done this one in garden green. So I've based it in garden green, and I stamped right on the cardstock, on the DSP with garden green. And I decided that I would add a little bit of a background to it. So I got my trees and I stamped that, or embossed that, and then I used my blending brush to add a bit of colour to the tree, and also used some Mica Stella to make it sparkle. So that's behind, and then just add some basic rhinestone gems to the top. So that's another one that I did. Now the final one I'm going to show you today, oh no, I've got one more. Here we go. You see one. This one here had two bits like this here, and I flipped one of them over, and I used the snowflake embossing folder, and I just put the other one on like that, just on top of each other. One's glued down, the other's on dimensionals. Put a sentiment on it and added 3 dots to it, and that's the card, basically. I'll put it over there. And my final one went rogue and got Misty Moonlight, or Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. Again, we've got the square. This is from the middle of the cardstock. You can see it came out down here and just about there. And what I did was I stamped Peace on Earth, Goodwill to all in the middle of the piece of DSP. And I embossed a tree in Lost Lagoon and then put some Mica Stella on it. So I embossed the whole sheet, but I only used a little bit of it and put that on it. Now, I often keep little bits and pieces, and I have this little box with lots and lots of circles and shape. Well, they're all circles of varying sorts that I keep, and very often you can find a use for these, even for just putting a sentiment on something. So I keep them in this little box, which is great because I can see what's in it. And I used one of them that I had in Lost Lagoon, just stuck it on like this was put on inside. So it's on a Pretty Peacock base, Lost Lagoon, and then inside I stuck a piece of white, and I don't know if you can see, but it's a bit hard to see. There we go. Down here I embossed one of the trees just on this side, and the rest is left blank for a message. So those were my cards that I made yesterday, and again, apologies for not being able to show them, me making them. I made, I think, 6 and a half an hour, and basically I just got the paper and I just kept going until I'd used up all the paper. Now, I hope that you've enjoyed that today, and again, apologies for yesterday. I'll hopefully be able to get this done next week again. So take care, everyone, and enjoy the new month. There is a new host code up there too. So if you would like to order this paper, it is, the number is right on the bottom here, 162133. 162133. and I haven't finished with it yet because I want to use it all up on Christmas cards. So I hope you've enjoyed this today, and I'll see you next week. Bye.